Hello Kickstarters, this is Scott Rouse and I'm one of the co-founders of AHA Notes. And as you may have noticed, we released just in the past couple of days. And in the meantime, we also had a release party where we had some early backers and others who wanted to just see what the book was about. And one of the things that we were reminded of was just how different it is to feel the book in person versus just seeing it online or reading about what it was. So I wanted to do a quick walkthrough, show you how the book works with the app, and hopefully just kind of give you a feel for what the book is doing. So I want to focus on basically just drawing a logo. So one of the things that you do designing a logo is that you want to be able to capture all the really different variations that come to mind. It's really important to keep everything simple and really expressive, so capturing those notes in the moment is really important. So I'm just going to draw essentially what the AHA logo is now and show you some clue as to how I got there. So let's start with the notebook. So this is the AHA Pro notebook. It has a leather cover, cool embossing here in the corner, and we have the leather stitching. You may have noticed that I just closed the book on the pen. It's because that's where it stays. And we can do that primarily because all of the inserts are modular and magnetic. So everything sticks in here and pulls in and out super easy. You just drop it back in and you have instant alignment and instant organization. And this goes for the paper as well. There's no top or bottom because we have the magnets with different polarities. And there it is. It's a very simple, very modular notebook. So the next thing that I did was actually just printed out some dots. It's really important to keep a logo balanced, so this is just enough structure for me to draw really fluidly and still have a nice geometric logo. So the cool thing is that we designed it to be half the size of page paper, so 8.5 by 11. Folded in half, fits in here perfectly. So I'll drop it in here, and the magnets not only keep the things in, but also keeps our alignment in. So let's do this. So I clearly have an idea of where I'm heading here, but I'm just going to draw in some reference points. I wanted to keep this logo, since it is so simple, inside of a square. That's not a square, so let's do just a little bit higher. And there you go. You can see that didn't slow me down to have to actually readjust to that. I'm going to start with our top part, because a lot of the letters below I would like to adapt to the exclamation point. So there's our exclamation point. And then from here, I just want to break this up into threes. We have a nice 3-letter logo, so super important that we get a nice balance to that. And there we go. So I'm going to fatten these up a little bit with our other marker, just because I wanted to get some thickness to each one of these. But you can see that I got this configuration down pretty quickly here. And if I remember correctly, when I finally hit this constellation, it was more about where that exclamation point was going to go. And so at the time I was probably doing more along the lines of things like this, where I wanted to see what it would take to keep the exclamation point as simple as possible, but still looking like an exclamation point. So too skinny and it looked a little bit too weird, too fat, and it looked a little bit more like a weather balloon than anything else. So the cool thing is that it's really important that I remember this particular iteration because I actually had an exclamation point on very early, and I actually kind of gave up on it because I just didn't like it. And so in my mind, I was thinking that exclamation point would just never work, but that turns out not to be true because I kind of came back to it. So it was important that I remember. So that's where the app comes in. So every time that I would sketch down some variation, come in with the app, and we can actually register or kind of crop into the part that we want, take that photo, and then the next step, we're taking a title. So the question that this is asking is, well, what part of this note is the most distinctive? What's the most memorable? And at this stage, it really was just getting that exclamation point sideways. So I'm going to take a photo of that. So now we have all of our folders essentially, and I'm going to put it into my logo folder. And there it is. And if we walk backwards, we'll actually see a full list of all the other iterations that I was playing with and thinking about. And here it is. Here's that early exclamation point. And Since I have a record of it, I can go back and look at it and see that when I nestled it above the H and above the A, it actually looked kind of silly and it didn't really fit very well. But it also reminds me that, oh, there's probably a whole lot of different ways to try to get that exclamation point back in there. But you can see also here all the different variations, and I can remember every single one of these and what kind of effort it took to kind of get them together and why I liked or disliked them. The other really interesting thing too is that I also tagged some of these. So if you look closely, you'll see that I just basically wrote some text here in the lower corner, uppercase and exclamation. And this is really just more for demo purposes, but you can also search. So here's the uppercase. And that's solely because I just essentially just typed that in or wrote that in, and then the application took the text or took the image and made text out of it. We use it solely just for searching. So in situations where you just want to kind of drop a tag or two, it's really powerful and really, really interesting. So that is a demo of making a logo. So if this is interesting at all to you, or if you really want to see note-taking kind of get to the next level, please pledge. Please help us make this reality. It's up to you to help us get this out of the gate. So please pledge, tell your friends, and have fun. Thanks.